Okay, welcome back, guys. In my previous video, I've laid out the box with 7 holes and 7 planes along this axis that runs through the middle. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and create my cam and set my cams on there. So I'm going to start a new part. I'm going to go ahead and create. I'm going to come up here and sketch it. I'm going to do an eccentric cam. I'm going to start with the center hole on this X on the intersection there. 0.25, that will receive that shaft run down the middle of that. I'm going to do a bigger circle out around that. I don't know how far I should come up here. I'll space it afterwards. I want to go ahead and make it 2, and then doesn't really matter how far from this edge should be. I'm going to go ahead and make it 0.5. That'll give me a 1/2 inch underneath there. So what I mean by a 1/2 inch underneath there, I'm going to extrude that 0.25 because we'll be cutting these out of 0.25 inch plywood or MDF. And I just look, and that's more than enough there. It's not going to be subject to break. Now at this point, I'm going to add 2 work planes that are going to be essential to putting these in. So I'm going to put this in for aligning this to the shaft. That'll go inwards. I want it to be a mid plane, so negative 0.125 from this plane puts me in the midpoint. And then I'm going to need a shaft to lock it in phase to the shaft going through there. So I'm going to offset that from, I could do it either that one or that one. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Boy, that one. I'm going to go ahead and create that one. So that's going through the center point, and that will be used to lock that to there. So now I'm going to go ahead and lock this to my new assembly here. So I'm going to save it, and I'll save this as cat ring cam. All right, I'll go down here, and I'm going to go ahead and go to my assembly here on here. So just click on that, gets me back to home. I'm going to place, and I'm going to place my cat ring cam in here, and I'll go ahead and put 7 of them in here. 6, 7, and hit OK. All right, so now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start constraining this in here. A lot going on, so it's going to take me a moment here. So first things first, I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to constrain the center line of that to the center line of my hole. Apply. Cancel. And notice it didn't move, but it is actually on that plane, I believe. I'm a little concerned about what I just did, so I'm going to back it up. All right. Let's see if I can't twist this a little bit. There, get a little better picture on that. All right, so I'm going to constrain. That's the one I want right there to that. Oop, I'm going to hit offset is 0, and it says I cannot do that, so I'm going to diagnose the relationship, and I'm going to delete broken relationship. And I'm going to undo. Go back a little bit here. All right. I don't know why it's being a little fussy here, but I'm going to pause. Okay, guys, so got it figured out. All I did was twisted this, and what it was, I was kind of getting interference from the plane, so by twisting it like this, you'll see what's going to happen here. So I'm going to constrain. I'm going to go and make sure without catching a plane, I get that center line going down that shaft. I'm going to come up here to this one, and I should stress that I'm using a mate constraint. And apparently I'm going to have to turn it back a tiny bit so I can catch that. Make sure that it's not offset, that it is up here. It's a 0, and hit apply. And you can see it jumped on there. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, to further constrain, I got a lot of them. I'm going to mate that plane with this first work plane, which is this one. And make sure there's no offset and hit apply. Alright, so then that's locked in there. And then I'm going to mate this one. And let me come out a little bit. But this is the other work plane, and I'm going to lock that with this plane here. And hit apply. And now I'm going to cancel out. And what I just did was I just put that so it's in place. I'm going to go ahead and turn this a little bit so you can see the cam. But now as I rotate this, you can see that that cam is rotating with the shaft. So basically I'm going to do that for all of them, but I'm going to offset them slightly to give me motion. And hopefully that's going to become obvious what I mean here. But I'm going to rotate this back around. I'm going to go ahead and put the next one on there. Alright, so I'm going to go constrain. I'm going to click that center line. I'm going to turn this up here a little bit and click that center line. I'm going to hit no offset, apply. Alright, so that puts it there. Now I'm going to align that plane with, let's see, this is the next one here. It's difficult to, that plane. And no offset. I'm going to delete a broken relationship if necessary. Oops, I'm going to go back. Alright, so that one put it on there, and then I'm going to have to get in there and do a little bit better job of selecting my planes to mate together, because I got to get that to rest on there. It's kind of fine detail work. I suppose there's probably a better way of doing it, but I don't know what it is. I want that to mate to that. And with no. Alright, so that did go indeed. Alright, now for my my third constraint on the second cam, what I'm going to do is, rather than locking this plane directly to this plane, as I did the first, I'm actually going to lock it at an angle so that it's just a little bit behind the first one. Now, got to be careful not to do this one upside down or you'll be off by a factor of 180 degrees. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit this angle. I'm going to tell it to be a direct angle. And then I'm going to click on this plane and that plane that aligns with the shaft. And I'm going to just put it out of phase 20 degrees. Hit apply. And what you can see is going to happen is that's a little bit behind. So it's a little out of shape and it's behind. So that one peaks a little bit later. So as this one comes up, that's always going to be just a little behind. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, constrain the third and fourth one here. I'll just run until the video goes out, I suppose. Yeah. This is, it's difficult. Alright, I'm going to constrain that midline with That one. Offset 0. Apply. I'm going to go ahead and now constrain that plane to that plane with a 0 offset. Hit OK. Hit cancel for a second. Bring, let's see, the handle down. Man. Alright, close. Alright, let me zoom in, zoom out here, get that a little centered. Okay. Now I'm going to constrain and go to the angle, and then I'm going to hit direct, and let's see, that one, and this time I'm going to go 40 degrees. Hit apply. So it's a little bit further back. Okay, so the next one, and I'm just going to kind of do this across for this one. Now, for the rings, which are going to be concentric, this one would have the same angle as the cam that's going to go here. This one will have the same angle as the one that goes here, and this one would have the same as goes here. But for this one, I'm going to continue across. I'm going to go, this was 0, it was just made it to the plane. This is 20, 40. I'm going to go 60, 80, 100, and 120. And we'll see how that looks. But I'm going to go ahead and pause it, do my work, and then I'll show you how it goes. Okay, so I went ahead and I constrained all 7 of my cams on here. They're offset by 20 degrees. So the first one's just mated to the plane of the shaft, and then the second one 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120. So now I have my desired motion, kind of a winding motion. I thought about maybe taking 360 degrees and dividing it by 7 to get equal distance, but I'm just doing this to see what it looks like, and certainly I can make that adjustment later. I'm going to go ahead and very quickly I'm going to go through and suppress some visibility on these work planes with this main shaft, because it's really visually it's visually I'm struggling with it a little bit here. So let's see, what was that? That was the stock dial. And let's see if I can turn off the visibility on that. See if that doesn't do all that much. I'll right click and turn off that visibility. Turn off that visibility. Right clicking, visibility, visibility, and visibility. Missed it. Right click, visibility. Come back over here, double click on that, double left click, and oh yeah, that's much better to look at. Still got a lot going on there, obviously, but I could, let's see, I could probably do all the cams at once. My goodness, a lot of constraints on that going through there. If I just go through here, and I'm not going to turn off both, but I want to turn off that one. I want to, because I'm going to need this one here when I put my followers on. But let's go ahead now and go back to that. So yeah, that's looking quite a bit better to look at here. In the next video, I'm going to go ahead and build a follower, and then I'll constrain the followers on there.